Charlie Kirk was unalived, and many people don't give a damn. Here's why. Imagine dying and most people don't care. Imagine your life and everything you stood for being dismissed. That's not just about death. That's the result of a lifetime of words that made entire communities feel unsafe and sometimes got them killed. You see, Charlie Kirk didn't just have opinions. He built a platform designed to provoke and dehumanize. And he flat out rejected empathy. In his own words, he said, "I can't stand the word empathy. I think empathy is a made-up, new age term that does a lot of damage." He's called George Floyd a scumbag, said if he saw a black pilot, he'd think, "Boy, I hope he's qualified." Called Martin Luther King Jr. awful and not a good person. He even said the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a huge mistake. He opposed Juneteenth as a federal holiday, even calling it anti-American. He even claimed that some gun deaths every single year are worth it to keep the Second Amendment. And he even said if a 10-year-old girl was violated and became pregnant, she should be forced to deliver the baby. You see, these aren't agree to disagree debates. This isn't LeBron versus Jordan, chocolate versus vanilla, or even modern dating. These were words about livelihoods, our rights, our safety, our very humanity. And then the irony of it all, he was shot while talking about gang violence in Utah of all places, mid-sentence, talking about violence, and then violence came for him. Now let me talk to the people, black, white, whoever, who feel like they have to hop online and prove how lofty and righteous they are. The "we're better than this" crowd, the "I disagree with him but" crowd. Make it make sense. This man's rhetoric wasn't harmless. Words become culture. Culture becomes policy. Policy becomes life and death. Just because he didn't wear a Klan hood doesn't mean the impact was any different, because it wasn't. And many of y'all who call yourselves religious, believers, spiritual, whatever, you say you believe in reaping and sowing, right? Karma and all that. You say if you live by the gun, you die by the gun, right? Well, if you sow violence, you reap violence. If you sow hatred, you reap hatred. Well, Kirk spent years sowing dehumanizing words. And we all know, well, some of us know, that words carry energy. And the fruit of that is what we saw on that stage in Utah. So don't turn around and spiritualize this moment into some empty call to unity. If your faith teaches consequences, then stop acting surprised when the consequences come knocking. It's as simple as that. At the end of the day, listen, here's what we can do. We can name the harm and not gloss over the damage just because somebody is gone. We remember the receipts. His words shaped millions of people's minds, taught them to see black people, immigrants, queer, and trans folk as less than human. And we must center our community, because if Kirk rejected empathy, we don't owe it to him, but we do owe it to each other, to our children, and to the ones his rhetoric harmed, and will continue to harm even in his death, because it's online for everybody to see and read. But the real work is not pretending he was someone he wasn't. It's using this moment to remind ourselves that words matter, power matters, and we